Good Monday morning, Manna Gatherers. What a lovely weekend of sunshine we had. I hope you were able to get out and enjoy it just a bit, even if it was just sitting on your porch and putting your face to the sun. There is nothing quite like a warm feeling of sunshine on a cooler day. It was cool, but the sunshine was out, and here we are on Monday with more rain. But we are still thankful, and there is still God's good stuff to gather, even in the middle of a storm. So this week we are going to be with the book of Titus. I'll talk more about the actual book, but we're going to be in chapter 1. It's a short book, verses 10 and 12. I felt like it goes along with our journey to joy during this season of Lent, and also pairs really well after listening to Stephen's Sunday sermon yesterday. We're kind of in sync with one another. And so I hope you will go back and listen to that sermon from yesterday, from February 21st, if you didn't listen to it. And then read these words of Titus 1, 10, and 12. I'll read them for you from the NRSV translation. There are also many rebellious people, idle talkers and deceivers, especially those of the circumcision. They must be silenced, since they are upsetting whole families by teaching for sordid gain what is not right to teach. So this is a book of Paul's, we think, written to young leader of the church, Titus. And these verses from Paul to Titus, came to mind after reading a devotion on our Linton booklet by Michelle Kochcroft, my friend and colleague here at Union. She pointed out in her devotion that so much hatred and division is thoughtlessly perpetuated by the sharing and resharing again and again of mean things on social media posts. People just click and share without giving true thought to what they are sharing and what that is saying and who is it harming and hurting. And then after I read that devotion, and another member of our church, who I checked in with by phone because I was missing him. I hadn't seen him in church for a long time, and I knew he was back to work, so I was wondering why he wasn't in church. So I called him to check in, and he echoed Michelle's observation, noting that many posts that highlight hate, division, and violence are shared by people who call themselves Christian, and he's just had enough of it all. This member said, I just need to step back because I cannot reconcile these so-called friends and so-called Christians' behavior toward others while at the same time and in the next post professing Jesus to be Lord of their lives. It doesn't match. We hear in Titus that this problem that Michelle has pointed out, that this other member has pointed out, well, it isn't new. It isn't a 21st century problem. Yes, we have social media that helps get such meanness out faster and probably to a broader audience, worldwide audience even. But the same problem is captured here in Titus in our scripture text this week. Those of the circumcision, aka the church people, are, in the words of one of Paul's other letters, 2 Corinthians 6, they have become obstacles. Yes, obstacles. They have become obstacles to whole communities because of their rebelliousness, their unruliness, their idle talk, their deceiving. Paul is trying to get the church back to remembering Jesus' words in John 13. Love one another. Just as I have loved you, and you should love one another. By this, everyone, the whole world will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. I tell the runners that I coach that for every one negative thought or comment, you have to have 10 positive, uplifting, encouraging thoughts or comments to counteract the damage that one negative comment or thought did. Because negativity leads to more negativity and more negativity. And before you know it, it takes you on a spiral downwards into a dark tunnel of negativity that is very hard to stop. This, to me, what we're hearing from Paul in Titus, is a good Linton exercise to put truly Paul's words, or really Jesus's words, into action in our everyday lives in very little and simple ways, to aim to be known and to make God more fully known in our world through the love that we give, through positive and encouraging words, conversations, posts, and actions, to not become that obstacle that Paul talks about in 2 Corinthians 6, that perpetuates the bad and the ugly, and really the broad, sweeping lies that cause so much damage and division. So here's our Lenten exercise for this week. Give up idle talk. That's giving up gossiping, spreading bad news and rumors. Give up forwarding ugly, thoughtless emails, posts, or stories of any kind, even if they are just spoken. Take on a spirit of love, a spirit of encouragement, of goodness, of kindness. For as Martin Luther King Jr. said, only love can drive out darkness and hate. We're not going to drive out darkness and hate by adding to the already heaping pile of darkness and hate in our world. Do not add this week to the darkness and hate. Make that your priority. Be the force of love, Jesus' love, that dispels all darkness and all hate and all division that is consuming our world right now. Let that be your Lenten focus this week, Manna Gatherers. I hope that you will join me, remembering we are on a journey to joy this Lenten season, and these words from Paul, they point us to a greater, more full joy in our lives, our own individual lives, but also in the lives of others. I will see you tomorrow as we continue to be with Titus.